tyrants like Gavin Newsom just don't get it. Making good people defenseless does not make bad people harmless. Instead of using the words gun control, they should use victim disarmament. And if you believe in the Second Amendment, and if you believe that good people deserve the best tools to defend themselves and their families, then you should be a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. San Diego County Gun Owners makes it easy to connect with the community that is fighting to defend and restore your Second Amendment rights. You can become a member today for only $10 a month. Go to sdcgo.org/join to become a member. $10. You can do it.
Hey, so I got a question for you, Dave.
Shoot.
You know how you drive for promotional reasons, because you're on KUSI, you drive a different car every week. Mm-hmm. And I'm driving, it seems like I drive a different car every week, but for a very different reason.
It might be because of the one you own, but we won't say that.
So she's back in the hospital, and I got another loaner, and I'm driving around. It's a four-door, sedan. It's a basic four-door.
Lexus.
I think it's a Lexus. A car's a car to me. I get them all confused. But it's nice. It's, it's like, what did we decide, 2004?
Yeah.
Super nice. Love it. Comfortable. But here's what I've noticed. So it's a red.
Break it, did
No. Well, yeah, I broke the windshield, actually. This is the second loaner I've broken a windshield. But that's not what we're talking about. So it's a red four-door sedan. I have definitely noticed a difference with people around me when I'm driving a four-door sedan compared to a 20-something-year-old Jeep Wrangler.
Right.
What do you have to say? Because you drive trucks and cars and SUVs. You drive a different car every week. Right. What's your experience?
Well, first let me ask you, are they slowing down to look? Or?
No. They don't care a rip about my life in a four-door sedan.
That's true.
In the Jeep, I get a nice wide berth, man.
Well, yeah, because it's lifted and it's got gnarly bumpers front and rear.
I don't get messed with.
But you're just a target.
And
you're probably driving the speed limit is the problem.
Yeah, I'm not real super aggressive.
Yeah, well, I
drive a Jeep.
But they are, right?
They don't care about my life in any way. In fact, they hate the fact that I'm alive. Is pretty much my experience.
Is that your consensus?
Yeah, not driving a Jeep. That's my consensus. Driving a Jeep, I get like the same treatment that like a pregnant woman gets. Like, here, let me get out of your way. Here, everybody here.
Well, because you're just poking along.
Yeah. But in that car, they hate me. They want me dead.
Then the guy you keep getting these cars from, you need to have him get you a Hummer.
Yeah,
great
really.
big lifted Hummer with massive bumpers.
But what's your experience? Do you see that in your different cars? Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, nobody can drive anymore. I mean, they're all idiots out there. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch people. And motorcycles, if you really want to get on a crazy topic, don't get you started.
I regularly get attacked for my negative views on motorcycles.
I had a guy
go
by
tired
me.
Of motorcycles.
If he was doing 120, he was doing 130.
Dave, I seriously keep my eye out. I want to put cameras in my car, just to show. I don't ever see a motorcycle obeying the law.
No,
not one time.
No,
it's insane.
Unless it's old people on a bagger.
I've never. But
if it's a pocket rocket, if it's one of these Kawasaki, Suzuki,
if it's a Harley too,
but the baggers are a little bit more. If it's some old people out cruising or on a weekend, but these sport bikes are insane.
All these motorcycles are crazy. All right, well, I was just.
So
curious.
Are you getting one?
No, I'm not getting a motorcycle.
You're not getting a motorcycle?
I have way too many problems and
too many other ways of getting killed.
Yeah, there's too many other issues I have. Hey, so all right, changing topics and kind of tying in with our in-studio guest, Tu. How you doing, man?
Hey, good. Hi. Thanks for inviting.
We're going to talk to Tu in the next, a few segments from now. Tu's awesome, but I saw Tu on Friday night. I won a gun.
You won a gun. First time you won anything
in 8 years.
Much I don't want to say nothing, but
how many guns have I given away? You know what I mean? How many? I'm always on the other side, reading the ticket or whatever. I'm the one getting the gun.
So you actually bought a ticket and you won one.
It was a complimentary ticket. I didn't have to buy it, but it was the happy news is I won a custom Smith & Wesson revolver in .38 caliber with a custom paint job by Gunfighter Tactical. The first gun I've ever won in my whole life.
Really?
And I'm so thrilled. That's the good news. The bad news is the event was they're going out of business.
What?
Yeah.
Gunfighter Tactical?
Gunfighter Tactical is no more. Friday was their last day.
Why?
So it was financially a bad year for the whole industry.
Yeah. And they just couldn't survive.
And it was final. So they were 10 years in business. One of the best shops.
They gave to us and the community like nobody's business.
I can't tell you how sad I was. Lee and Ryan and the whole crew over there are so wonderful too. And
they had a party?
They did. They said we're going to have a party, not a funeral. And so that's what they did, man. We had food, and they had giveaways, and they made shirts to commemorate, and that because that's who they are. That's
Wow.
Lee is particularly that's who he is. So they're gone, and I got to tell you, I miss them already.
They
and
may
it's
come
super
back.
Sad. Yeah, it's super sad. I got to tell you, they were just about the best gun shop in Southern California. You know, they won Shop of the Year 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I know.
2? How many times? Do you remember? Is it 2 or 3?
I think 3 or 4. I
Was
think
it 3 or 4?
As many years, yeah.
And that's not. I mean, there's a lot of competition, for best gun shop of the year.
Yeah.
And so
That
anyway,
is so sad.
it is my very best to you guys. They started 10 years ago. They have been unapologetically pro San Diego County gun owners, pro Second Amendment. They're a part of some of the lawsuits. They've been supportive of us. Every time we had a meeting there, they would, pull all the stops. The biggest meetings, the biggest monthly meetings we ever had were at Gunfighter Tactical. We'd have well over 100, sometimes 150 people at those meetings. Yeah. And I cannot tell you, they had, I have not seen ever such loyal customers. I've seen loyal customers to gun shops, and that's well deserved. I haven't seen so many loyal gun shop customers to one gun shop.
And how many guns did they give away to the gun prom?
Lost count.
I mean, I know I won 2.
I can tell you that at our Christmas party, which we haven't announced yet, so take a look at keep an eye on your email. Will be the last chance to win a Gunfighter Tactical gun. He despite having to do everything else you have to do when you go out of business, they made sure to set aside a gun for us.
Wow.
Which is super cool. So
we got to keep inviting him to our events.
100%. They're going to be so missed. Lee,
get him on radio.
Lee he's still in San Diego. I'm still going to talk to him. He's still my friend. He's still such a great guy.
Wow.
But Gunfighter Tactical is no more.
Man, that's a bummer.
It's a big bummer. It was super sad.
Too bad we couldn't figure out a way to save him.
Wow. Yeah. Well, the economy. I got to tell you, it was. Everybody. Your food budget goes from $600 a month to $800 a month. You got and your paycheck doesn't go up that much.
And your fuel bill goes from $600 a month to $1,200 a month.
You got to make cuts. So we saw far fewer members, certainly than we projected. Everybody I've talked to in the industry, manufacturers, instructors,
clubs,
you name it, everybody's down about 30 to 60%. That's.
I mean, we can't even get $10 to join San Diego County gun owners, for God's sakes.
It was a slow year. We had members come in, and that's fantastic.
But still, but you got to work harder for each and every one of them.
We still, so what's the consequence? Everyone asks about this law, that law. There aren't as many lawsuits as there should be. There aren't there won't be as much money to help get people elected as there could have been. We're headed into an election year. There are some other things that we wanted to help make the community better that we couldn't do. Like we want to get an app rather than a membership card. So it definitely has an impact, but that's okay.
We don't give up. We don't give up.
And then of course a wonderful gun shop like Gunfighter Tactical goes out of business. Hey, before the break, Symposium winner of 511 Tactical Rush 2.0 backpack. Drum roll. Daryl Abnadella. Abdianella. I'm so sorry, Daryl. I hope I didn't say. Congratulations.
We'll throw in an
Daryl.
extra hat.
Thank you to 511 Tactical. 511 Tactical, huge supporter of the symposium. We have symposium news coming up, by the way. So stay tuned.
Hey, if you own a gun in California, you should have an attorney that specializes in California gun laws on your speed dial. Because if you ever have legal matters that involve firearms, you need California's firearm lawyer, John Dillon, especially if you have questions on red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Our trusted firearms attorney is John Dillon. John specializes in California gun laws. You need to put his phone number on your phone right now. 760-642-7150. That's John Dillon, California firearms lawyer. 760-642-7150.
Our guest today is from Active Self-Protection. He is a gentleman, a scholar, and a fine judge of Scotch. But most important, he is a gun instructor extraordinaire. Neil Weidner, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm from Active Self-Protection North up here in South Dakota, so we got our first snow. So I'm enjoying the weather. I know.
So let's do a little introduction. Tell everybody what your role is with Active Self-Protection and a little bit of background. How did you get involved?
Oh, man. Well, my role here is I think the title on my business card says Chief Marketing Officer, and that's a fancy way of saying that I'm the guy that deals with all of the relationships between ASP and all of our sponsors. And so I manage and maintain all of that. And then on top of that, I am the director of the training side of the organization. So anytime we travel around the country and teach classes, I'm the one that sets that up and lines those up and basically schedules everything and gets people signed up for class. And then I travel out and teach people, whatever class it is that we went there to teach.
And how long have you been? You've been around with these guys for forever. You know, you guys blew up online. You have a huge YouTube channel. How did you find? How did you guys get connected?
Oh man, well I tell you what, it's a little bit of a story here, but Stephanie is my wife, is the CEO of Active Self-Protection, and she's really the one that got us both involved. A few years ago, we adopted a special needs child, and we adopted him through the foster care system, and through the wonderful state of Iowa, who does a lot of great things in that, made a mistake one day and sent our address to the birth family of our future adopted son, and they came to get him. And so, they tell you in all of the training, when if the birth family shows up to take the baby, you don't risk harm, don't risk anything, give up the baby, let the authorities deal with it. And my wife called me because we got a little bit of a heads up that they were coming and said, hey, they're not taking this baby. And I'm like, yeah, I 100% agree. I'm on my way, and you do what you got to do, and I will be there. Long story short, nothing happened. Law enforcement got there about 28 minutes after I did, so they didn't arrive. The good news is the family got to our house, and then they kind of lost their nerve and didn't even come up and knock on the door. And so, cooler heads prevailed in that. But
that sounds like it was probably a big, maybe a watershed moment or a big eye-opening moment for you guys.
For everyone. And we've got four daughters as well. At the time, they were all under 15. And so, it was a watershed moment for all of us, and a big one for Steph and I, in that, I'm a redneck kid from South Dakota with, a whole lot of hunting rifles and do a lot of shooting, but self-defense wasn't a concern until the day I realized that my family is sitting at home, and if I'm not there, I can't do anything. And Steph realized that even if she is there, I think the big watershed moment for her was, we're both willing to die for our kids, but then what?
Yeah. There's an old quote by Patton that, something along the lines of, you don't want to die for your country, you want to make the other guy die for his. So
exactly.
You'd rather live for your kids than die for your kids.
Yeah. And it's just one of those moments that, hit us pretty hard, and Steph really jumped into, she got online. This is 18 years ago now.
Oh my gosh.
In that ballpark. And she got online, she found Greg Elifritz, and she found this small little YouTube, or not even YouTube, it was Facebook with John Correa, and started reading everything, and just jumped in with both feet. And at one point, John, back when Facebook was still pretty small, he got on there and he's like, hey, I need help keeping this professional. I want to keep my community in professional standards. And I need some help, and I don't have any money, but if somebody wants to volunteer, I'd sure appreciate it. And, Steph being, at that time she was staying at home with the kids, she's like, hey, I don't know a ton about self-defense, but I know an F-bomb when I see it, and I can delete it. And John said, you're hired for nothing.
I'm gonna add that to my resume. Know an F-bomb when I see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, so that's really where she got involved. And she's super involved. She's all over the place. We did a long form interview with her, Stephanie. Super dynamic, excellent trainer, really wonderful. He couldn't have picked a better CEO. Yeah. Yep. And she read everything she could. She took classes. She just did everything. And ultimately, it was probably a couple of years later, I knew John. We were friendly. But at one point we were on the phone and he's like, Neil, what do you think about, coming on and helping a little bit here and there? And so we were actually at, I think it was the NRA Carry Guard Expo was the one we were at. We were eating dinner and he's like, I just need sponsors. I need a sponsor to help pay the bills so I can continue to do this. And I've got a background in sales. I've been doing sales for 30-some, almost 40-some years now.
So you made it happen. You got a sponsor, and how many followers do you guys have on YouTube now?
Right now we're a little over 3 million.
3 million people follow him on YouTube. That's huge.
Wow.
Neil, one of the things that you said just now that was super interesting was, you said you were a redneck kid growing up with guns, but you didn't really know much about, self-defense techniques, and that's something I think was hard to articulate. Gun owner. I was a gun owner in the 90s and even into the 2000s. That was hard to explain that, hey, yeah, I know you've been around guns, but defensive, gun use and carrying a firearm, pulling from concealment, that has nothing to do with your 30-06, and your deer gun.
No.
That has nothing to do with your duck shotgun. And
Nope.
I think there's been a huge growth in that since I'm going to say about at least 2010. It really, really took off. And then the Bruin case, CCWs came out, that helped. But then the Bruin case last year was all about self-defense. What trends have you noticed in the last year and change since the Bruin case's decision came out?
I think we're seeing more people show up for classes. I think we're seeing a younger group of folks that are taking up self-defense and realizing, that they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so they're showing up for classes. And I think a lot of that has to do with, the gun ownership really skyrocketed during the pandemic. And from a different political stance than what we normally saw. And, our belief is that I don't care what your politics are, you have a right to defend yourself.
Yep.
And so we're seeing people from both sides of the aisle show up in classes to learn how to do it. And, and people, we had a gentleman come to our national conference in Kansas last year that showed up, and if I know none of you have probably been there. Maybe there's a couple of people that have been to the conference listening to this, but you come in on this great big hill up in Kansas, and he sat at the top of the hill for quite a while. We saw a car sit up there, and then he came down and introduced himself, and he said that my family doesn't know I'm here. Everybody is radically anti-gun. And he spent the weekend with us learning how to shoot.
Wow.
And so he won a couple of prizes that were self-defense related that he wouldn't even take home with him. And we're seeing that in more and more classes of people that are like, hey, I really feel like I need to be able to do this, and I know I can't. My family doesn't necessarily support me yet, but I'm going to take the first steps now.
There's a ton of that. Way more, man buns and yoga instructors and vegans and stuff, which I'm thrilled. I have a couple of favorite vegan restaurants here in San Diego that I love. I rarely do yoga and I don't have enough hair for a man bun. But I welcome all those folks, every walk of life. Everybody should be carrying. Everybody needs self-defense.
I absolutely agree. And, you know, and I think we're seeing a lot more women in the sport, or in the self-defense industry, or the shooting sports industries, to the point where about 35% of the people at our national conference were women.
Wow.
A class that I just took, a Gabe White class here about 2 weeks ago, and over half of the class was female.
Yep. I think that's fantastic. I think it's outstanding. Now, one of the things, we're about to go to break. We have about a minute here. You're going to talk about, one of the things we wanted to have you on the show to talk about is you guys are developing an app, and I really want to spend the next segment talking about exactly what that app's, you know, what it's going to do, and you know, describe it to us and what it's really, really good for. But before we go, you have about 40 seconds. Your YouTube channel is so popular. What was? Let's just give people a taste. What was the catalyst? Like, why do you, if with a YouTube channel so big and popular, why did you think you needed an app?
We're living on rented land is the big part of it. We woke up one morning to a video of ours had gotten flagged. We got a strike from YouTube, and they didn't allow us to post for a week. And this is how we make our living. I mean, this is how we feed our families. We've got 11 employees. And with no recourse, no way to, I mean, we could appeal it, but the appeal process is a big circular thing, though, where they say you broke a rule. We say, what rule? They say it doesn't matter. Just don't do it again. And then we say, well, don't do what again? And they say, don't break the rule. And it just goes, and they never really gave us a specific answer.
All right, good. That's an excellent reason. YouTube, we've had similar experiences, unfortunately. But, okay, when we get back from the break, I want to hear all about the app, Neil.
Hey, have you ever wanted to get a pilot's license?
Yeah, I have.
Well, you should, because here in San Diego, pilots can fly almost every day of the year, mainly because of our phenomenal weather. You can learn to fly with San Diego Flight Training International. Check out this deal just for Gun Owner Radio listeners. 1 hour of ground school, 1 hour of flight with an instructor. Yes, you do get to fly. Normally it's $400. They'll do it for $350 to all you listeners. Getting started is super easy. Call 858-569-1822 or go to Learn to Fly with SDFTI, or just call them 858-569-1822 and thank them for making us available on Gun Owners Radio.
We're talking to Neil Weidner from Active. Oh, my mic on? There we go. We're talking to Neil Weidner from Active Self-Protection. You know him and Active Self-Protection from a lot of places, but particularly they have an enormous YouTube channel that is extremely interesting and helpful. But
what's the content? What's the content?
That's where I was going. Before we get into the app, tell us. What's ASP all about? What like Dave said? What's the content? What do you guys provide? Do, say, tell, teach?
All right, so we've got two major YouTube channels. One we call it the big channel and the extra channel. The big channel is a channel that is the original one, where we take like real life surveillance video of a carjacking, a robbing, a mugging, a badge cam, something along those lines, and we break it down and basically do an after action report, and then teach lessons for regular folks to be able to avoid those kinds of situations, and say, here's the red flags that that we see, like pre-attack indicators, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, just those kind of things, or consider an exit, or consider whatever the lesson may be. And then we put out 10 of those videos a week on the main channel.
So real security camera footage of an actual defensive gun use, and then you guys analyze.
Well, it's like Cops, but with education behind it.
I guess it kind of. I hadn't thought about it that way, Dave. But I guess it kind of is.
Well, stop and think. And how many people are addicted to that show, Cops? For some reason, they love, whether it's real or not, I don't know, but people love to watch those shows.
Loved. I think it went off the air about 15 years ago.
Well, now it's on Fox Nation.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's back on
I didn't
Fox
know
Nation.
that. All right, but anyway, I guess that's.
But see, at least what you're doing is you're saying, okay, folks, see this. Now here's what you should do if it ever happens to you, and I think that's the key to your success.
I'm sorry, say that one more time, guys. You broke up.
Well, I'm just saying, I think the fact that not only do you show the scenarios, but you then educate the masses as to what to do in the event something like that was to happen to you.
Yeah, exactly. And because of the platform that we've got in this side of the platform, we meet thousands of people a year at different events, or I walk into the gas station and I don't get it near as much as John does, but people come up to us and say, hey, I learned a lot from your stuff. And the one thing that we hear over and over and over again from people that have actually been in a self-defense scenario, they all say it didn't go anywhere like what I thought it would go. So everybody has this idea in their brain of what their self-defense scenario is going to be, and they're prepared for it with their extra mag in this pocket and their pepper spray in that pocket and all that kind of stuff. And nobody ever has a scenario that's like, well, that's exactly like I thought it was going to play out. And so with this, we give folks what we call a mental rep to sit down and watch this and mentally process multiple different things. And every one of them is fluid, and there are just never two scenarios that are the same. And so, yeah, I think it gives people a little bit of, fluidity in their brain as they think about how to deal with this. If God forbid the worst day of my life happens, I hope that, I'm going to at least be able to accept what's going on and then act accordingly. And that's the goal of the big channel.
So it's an educational channel. It's something that helps people. It's something that, educates people and helps them stay safe, keep safe. You guys talk a lot about how, avoiding a situation is the win, that you shouldn't even be in, what is it, don't go dumb places at dumb times with dumb people and whatever, that. So all this,
the rules are stupid.
Yeah, all this is good stuff. This is extremely helpful. 3 million people follow your YouTube channel. That's huge, and yet still you guys get censored by YouTube. Talk a little bit more about that. Why do they censor you, or what other have you gotten any feedback? Has there been anything constructive by YouTube where you've learned, like, okay, they don't like it when we do this, or anything like that?
I mean, we've learned to play within the rules as best we can, and I think one of the things is that the 2A community, a trap that we fall into from time to time, is that we will kind of play the victim with some of these companies like that, and my reaction to that is, okay, it's your company, you get to run it the way you want, and I'm living on your rented land, or I'm renting land from you right now, so I'll do my best to follow your rules if you can tell me what they are. And so we've done a pretty good job. I think a lot of people out there see 3 million subscribers and, 60 some million views a month and that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, these guys are just making hand over fist and it's a money grab thing to try to have an app and just make more money. Well, about 80% of our stuff is not monetized. YouTube comes in and says, no, that's violence. We're not going to monetize that. And advertisers don't want to put, their advertisement on something with violence. So there's a bubble system. There's a green bubble, yellow bubble, and red bubble system at YouTube that says this is where the advertising dollars go. And if it's red bubbled, no advertising dollars go there. And the vast majority of our stuff is red bubbled. So while we make a decent living off of YouTube, we don't have control over that to the degree that we'd like to. They give us some stuff here and there, guidelines to follow. But then, when the day happened that we woke up and we'd got a strike, that was a strike on our second channel that's much smaller, 230-some thousand subs. And it was literally a video of John standing up at an NRA convention giving a speech. And so there was no blood, there was no violence, there were no guns, there was just nothing there. So we're sitting here scratching our head going, wait a minute, what did we do? And their answer was, you broke a rule. And try as I might, we could not get to the bottom of that and figure out what happened. And so that was the moment that we decided we've got to take our chances doing something different.
Yeah. You got to have an alternate plan just in case. And,
and there's a lot of families and a lot of people that work for us that we need to make sure that we're okay. And we have seen it from other channels and across all industries where they woke up one morning and YouTube has come up with a new policy and then they don't really grandfather anything in some cases. And we've seen channels just disappear off of the face of the platform with no warning at all. Now they say there's no warning. I don't know if there's not, and I don't mean to run YouTube down because we make a good living off of YouTube, and that's where we kind of, that's where things work out very well for us. And so while I appreciate what they're doing, it's a head scratcher and it makes me confused sometimes. And so
maybe they were censoring John's new long curly locks. Maybe his new curly long hair was so offensive they had to get it off the internet. Maybe that's.
Oh man, yeah, that might be, and I would back him up on that.
That would make sense. I know. Suddenly, I'm on Team YouTube. I get it now. So, what's the difference between the YouTube channel and the app?
So the app is called Active Self-Protection Unlimited. Basically, the difference there is there's some additional content. We get early access to the same content that's already on YouTube without ads. So we got some sponsors to come along to help kind of pay the bills on this kind of stuff. But instead of 30-second ads and that kind of stuff in there, we do a little swoosh so people know who there's 4 main sponsors that help us with the app. And so they're there and prominent, but we're not running, hey, you have to go buy this or buy that. We're just not doing that. And so you get access 3 days before they show up on YouTube, ad-free. And now what we're doing is some premium content. So we've got 14 full-length self-defense type classes on the app. So and number 15 is coming. Gabe White's class will be published on the app here pretty quick. That's a 2-day class of Gabe White standing on the line giving instruction. And we've got Melody Lauer from Citizens Defense Research Academy there, and Brian Hill's full class is on there. And, so if you, we're probably looking at about $5 or $6 grand if you had to go pay for all of those classes, and they're there from the very beginning to the very end on the app. We've also got some other stuff, behind the scenes stuff going on. Just started doing what we're calling the first watch, and basically it's reaction videos with John and Mike, or John and Steph, or John and myself, watching some of these, self-defense scenarios and badge cams for the very first time, and doing those as a reaction video.
That's cool.
And really showing the process of how do we break this down, and what do we do, and what do we watch. And you can watch a 5-minute video 30 times, and you're still going to, you still may miss one little thing. And that's the thing we always see in the comments that people are like, well, I can't believe you didn't notice this. And I'm like, we noticed 50 other things. I didn't notice that one. Yeah. So, but just to see that process has been really fun and very engaging on the app. People really like that.
Yeah. There's nothing more fun there's nothing more fun than hearing the opinions of the unaccomplished on what the accomplished are doing all wrong. I love that. Believe me.
Oh, the comment section, everybody, you hear it all the time, and people are like, just stay out of the comments, just stay out of the comments. And I would beg to differ in that, we engaged in the comments from day one. And that's really how Steph got involved, was engaging in the comments. And, and if you engage with people, that's where education happens. Not every time, because, a lot of people are really set in their ways. And, that whole grew up with guns culture is a real culture that, we're not going to teach them anything. They aren't open to the lesson. But if you can engage with them at some point, the lessons become, become real in their mind. And so we engage there a lot. That might be why our hair's all turning gray and John's growing his hair out the way he is.
So before we go, we got to give. I think we're giving away. We're raffling off a membership, right? An ASP Unlimited membership. Okay, so the first
a year-long membership for somebody.
Year-long membership. The first person that emails prizes at gunownersradio.com. That's prizes, PRIZES, at gunownersradio.com. We'll get an ASP Unlimited membership. Neil, what's your website? How do people get a hold of you best?
Just activeselfprotection.com is the website, or just go to YouTube, Facebook, or any of the other places and search Active Self-Protection. You will find us there.
And where do you download the app?
Any of the major stuff, the Android store, the Google store, Play Store, any of that kind of stuff, just search ASP Unlimited, ASP Unlimited. You'll see the green ASP logo, or the red ASP logo, and download us there. You get a 7-day free trial, and see what you think.
Thanks, Neil.
Hey, Riverside and San Bernardino. Even with the Bruin case, the gun grabbers are getting even more desperate. Gavin Newsom, 28th Amendment, would gut the Second Amendment. He also just signed SB 2 that prohibits concealed carry everywhere. AB 28 adds an 11-cent tax on gun and ammo, so self-defense would be priced out of reach for most people. Let's face it, all these laws disarm only the people that would use a gun to defend themselves. And if you're ready to fight back and do something to defend your Second Amendment rights, Inland Empire and gun owners is for you.
There you go.
When you become a member, you are joining the most effective local Second Amendment advocacy group in the nation. We're growing the 2A community and are getting more pro-2A officials elected. Membership is only $10 per month. Joining is super easy. Go to iegunowners.com/join.
Symposium prize winner, Firearms Legal Protection Annual Family Membership, plus a Vulcan waterproof rifle case. The winner is Jerry Katz. Thank you, Firearms Legal Protection, for your support and financing the Red, White, and Badass Brew coffee for the symposium. Use code GOR at firearmslegal.com. That's GOR, like Gun Owners Radio, at firearmslegal.com for a discount on your legal protection plan. Speaking of the symposium, our next guest was a speaker there and did a fantastic job. Wonderful guy, friend of mine, Brady Pasola. How are you, man?
Hey, how are you doing, brother?
Good. It's good to hear your voice. You know, you and I met about 150 years ago when you were working at the Glock store and I was just starting San Diego County Gun Owners. And look at us now. Look at us both today. What a couple of fantastic studs.
We've come a long ways, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you making time and speaking at the symposium. Lots of positive feedback. I said it was a great job, and I really, really, truly appreciate it. The name of your talk was The Philosopher Warrior Mindset. Tell people a little bit about that. What is the Philosopher Warrior Mindset?
Well, we hear everyone want to be warriors all the time, you know, especially military, veterans, civilians. They always like the warrior cultures. But the thing is no one ever really talks about the philosophic aspect when it comes to, you know, wanting to defend yourself and that of others. And philosophy simply means love of wisdom. And I think for any one of us, we all want to be a little wise, right? Especially when we are carrying firearms, we're protecting ourselves and other people. So I think adopting a philosopher warrior mindset helps people become a bit more rational and analytical about when they decide they want to pull a firearm to protect themselves. And so within that philosophy, I teach Stoicism. Stoicism is a 2,500-year-old philosophy that uses propositional logic. And basically, it helps inject some logic into the brain, into the cerebral cortex to help combat the limbic response to external stimulus. So let's say someone, you know, let's say on the color codes, right, you are condition orange. You've detected a threat. Your body starts going into a fight or flight response. Well, Stoicism, is practiced in the cerebral cortex. And so that helps put some logic into the mind to help calm you down so you don't make a decision under the influence of emotion. Because, you know, we always say don't make decisions on the influence of drugs and alcohol. Well, emotions affect your brain the same way. So why are we still making decisions on the influence of emotion? So, Stoicism helps bring some logic, some rationality to the brain to help you make a better informed decision so you don't end up in jail.
And you talk about Stoicism a lot, especially on your where I see it most often is your Instagram, which is the Gray Man Project, right? I got that right?
Yeah, grayman.project on Instagram. Grayman, Gray.
Grayman.project. And how did you get introduced to Stoicism? How did it become a part of your life, and why is it important to you?
You know, years ago, being a Marine, and I've had my own background of things and struggled through some, had my own emotional adversity, just like everybody else does. And I had come across this quote by a guy named Seneca the Younger. And this quote was just, as easy as it was, it kind of struck a chord with me. So then I started deep diving into the research of who he was and what it was about. But the quote was, we are more often frightened than hurt. We suffer more in imagination than we do reality. And I think that's true for most human beings, especially nowadays when news and media and social media, the purpose of it all is to elicit an emotional response to get you to work the algorithm, share, like, comment. So I think it's important that we start using a rational mind, especially in the times are getting, as a friend of mine say, times are getting weird. A friend of mine calls it biblical. And in these times where we need to really gain control of our emotions, be more rational and logical, and how we approach situations and how we respond to external stimuli.
What's the quote again? Say it one more time.
We are often more frightened than hurt. We suffer more in imagination than we do reality.
I like that a lot. It's similar. There's a saying I like a lot that's similar, kind of along the same lines, and it's basically, I'm paraphrasing. It's something like, the things you worry about or the things that keep you up at night come to pass in the morning anyway, or something along those lines. Where basically all that stuff that you worry about, whether or not it's real or whatever, it's going to happen anyway. Or it either is or isn't going to happen anyway. You worrying about it isn't helping in any way. You getting all spun up about it doesn't happen anyway. And that's kind of the quote you just, it's kind of a cousin to that. I like it a lot. I think it's extremely wise.
Well, thank you. And a lot of the philosophers say a lot of good things, especially in Stoicism. Again, it's propositional logic. Either things are or they're not. And they kind of put it out there like, hey, look, things are going to happen the way they're supposed to. There's nothing you can do about it. And when you worry about it, worrying about the future robs you of the present moment. And worrying about a past that you can't change only takes away the present moment as well. So a lot of Stoicism about being mindful and being present. And that mindfulness is, I think, very relevant towards those of us who are initiated in tactical training, whether it's military, law enforcement, self-defense, whatever it is that you do, being mindful and being present, not letting your mind wander away, which oftentimes when people let their mind wander, they begin to start, working themselves up, start getting angry. They start thinking about a conversation they had or an argument they had, and they start working themselves up. And what happens is it starts offsetting your mental environment. Your mental environment is the harshest place you will ever endure in your life. No matter what happens outside your external environment, whether it's in traffic or in the woods or, whatever situation you find yourself in, if you can't survive your mental environment, you're not going to survive your external environment. So it's important to remain present and mindful about your feelings. So when you do get angry, sitting in traffic and dealing with things you can't control, you can say to yourself, well, why am I angry? And is this anger really helpful in the situation? And is this anger going to influence my next action, which might cause me more problems?
Yeah, no kidding. So what do you recommend? Like the folks that you gave the talk to, you hit on a lot of the points that were in your talk. What do you recommend if someone were listening now and wanted to know more, or when you gave the talk at the symposium and someone wanted to get have a deeper understanding and knowledge of it, what should be their next step?
Hit me up on Instagram, and I'm happy to explain more. There's some videos, reading the classics, Marcus Aurelius, his diary meditations, or the Enchiridion by Epictetus, or Letters from a Stoic by Seneca the Younger. Reading the classics is a good way to start, but I think there's some better explanations on YouTube that talk about the history of Stoicism. And I think it's important not just to read the works of the old sages, but to understand the men behind them and why they wrote what they wrote and why they practiced what they did. Back 2,500 years ago, they didn't have therapy. They had watered down wine and philosophy, trying to figure out, why do I feel this way and how do I make myself feel better? So reading the old classics, but going on YouTube and just typing in Stoicism can really do a lot.
I think that's awesome, man. I think I enjoy your channel. I barely follow anything on Instagram. You're one of the few people I follow, and I like what you have to say. You do an excellent job. You're a good friend, and I really, truly appreciate everything that you've done and are doing. And I think a lot of people took a lot of things away from your talk, and I see the comments on your Instagram, and I know a lot of people take away a lot of good from what you have to say, and I think that's what an amazing mark you're leaving on the world, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you, and likewise, glad to call you friend.
All right, awesome job. What's your Instagram one more time?
It's at Grayman, GRAYMAN .project, PROJECT.
Brady Pasola, thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, Mike. Much love.
All right, dude. How cool, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a super good guy. So after this, we're going to talk. We've barely touched on why he's here and what he's doing. But
he doesn't even know why he's here.
He got lost.
He got lost.
He just got lost. We kidnapped him. But we're going to talk to him next, and a lot of really, really cool stuff going on with too, and all the amazing support he's given San Diego County Gun.
Hey, the fight for the Second Amendment is also happening in Orange County. Orange County Gun Owners leads the fight on the city and county level to defend and protect your self-defense. How do they do it? They do it by fundraising, getting local pro-gun candidates elected. Become a member today. Go to OCGunOwners.com/join and join the growing number of responsible gun owners stepping up to defend our Second Amendment rights. That's OCGunOwners.com.
There you go. All right, subscribe and win. We got winners, prizes, and events. Subscribe to our email list and win some swag. This week's winner is Charles Wilcom. Oh, that's a good addition. I like that. That's a good addition.
Yeah, that's different.
Charles, email prizes@gunowners.com to claim your T-shirt or hat. If you want to win, go to gunownersradio.com and subscribe. You know, we already have a winner for the active self-protection thing, Dave.
Yeah, I heard it.
It's Charlie Cook, our buddy.
Yeah. He listens.
Yeah, of course he does. Well, there you go. Big round of applause. Couple things coming up on November 9th, the Orange County Town Hall, Dana Point Community Center. Go to orangecountygunowners.com for more info. It's a free event. It has to do with public safety. We've done a few of these, and they've gone really, really well. So check it out. Orange County Town Hall, November 9th, Dana Point Community Center. I got to tell you, Dave, last week was a heck of a week.
Mm-hmm.
We got, I think we talked about most of it, but I want to recap. We had the Miller decision saying, assault weapon bans are unconstitutional. That was big. We had our shooting social on Saturday, which was well attended and fun. And then we had the gun show, which was awesome. Let's see, what else? Then we had sporting clays. And then the next couple of days was like Tuesday. You know, the county board tried to pass a resolution in support of the 28th Amendment. And we showed up, and it got stuffed. It was absolutely ridiculous. It's pretty interesting, though. You know, the 28th Amendment is basically – so they point out a couple of things. They say, hey, we want to have a national assault weapons ban. We want a national – we want universal health care – or not health care, universal background checks. We want, just a couple things. And then there's this sentence that says, and we want to make sure that cities, counties, states, and the federal government can pass more gun laws. And they like, well, okay, so you want everything. Like, this isn't just a couple of things. You want everything. And they kept saying that, hey, it keeps the Second Amendment intact. And I'm going, what do they mean by that? No, it doesn't. Like, how can they possibly say that? Do you know what they meant by that? They meant that the actual 27 words of the Second Amendment will still be on the paper. Like, they're not going to take the Second Amendment, not going to take those 27 words away, but they're going to amend the Constitution with the 28th Amendment and basically completely get rid of what those words represent. So it still says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Still says that, but there's none of the protections of that. They could literally pass any gun law they want. That's what they're doing.
Unbelievable.
And that's the kind of political doublespeak that I deal with all the time. All the time. You absolutely have to nail these politicians down and okay, what exactly do you know? And I need you to actually say, this, that, and the other thing.
Well, it's just like our last guest gets kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, why am I kicked off YouTube? Well, you broke a rule.
Yeah.
Well, what was the rule? Well,
the thing you broke. That's
the
what
thing
it
you
was.
broke. Just don't do it again, and we'll let you come back on. Well, yeah, but how do I?
It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So all that happened in less than a week. All that happened in less than a week.
Are you tired?
I don't know. I never get tired, Dave. I'm like the Energizer bunny.
Now that I'll agree with.
But we have a new date we'll announce. We have a new venue for the gun show. We'll announce that. It's going to get even bigger and better, which we're very, very proud of. Kind of disappointed. Dude, did you make it out to the gun show?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah? What did you think?
It was awesome.
What a great attitude. Thank you.
You know, by the way, I was Friday night, I was up in Ventura.
Yeah?
And then I drove home that night just to be there for Saturday. And then I finished the day. It was great, and then I had to go back up to life and go up to Ventura on Sunday. But I have to do it. Whatever you go, I'll be there.
That's awesome attitude. We need more people like you. There was a small handful of people who, it wasn't as good as Del Mar. No, it's not yet, but it will be. I think by the time we're done here, within the next year, I think that it's going to be better than what we saw at Del Mar. And that's nothing wrong with Del Mar. Del Mar was a good show. The other thing that was funny about that is I can't tell you how many people complained about Del Mar. Like, oh, Del Mar, wah. And then, so we did something a little different, because we had to, because the state of California made us. And then you had a bunch of people saying, oh, I want it to be like Del Mar again. No pleasing. No pleasing. Can't please all the people all the time. So, but we're planning an event too. You're going to be a part of it. It's going to be a big gun show. We're going to have other stuff happening as well. We're going to have the symposium. It's in the works, but we couldn't have done it without people like two. We couldn't have done it without everybody that showed up and said, you know what? I don't care if it has everything I want, if it has nothing I want. I'm going to show up and be counted. We couldn't have done it without those people.
Well, just wait when somebody, in a few years, people are going to say, gosh, remember when that gun show used to be nice and small and it was really easy to get in?
It was nice and intimate.
And it wasn't packed with thousands of people. God, those were the days.
Well, Rich and I looked at the new venue, and we were talking with the guy giving us the tour, and we kept looking at each other with wide eyes going, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be fun. And the symposium's just going to get better and better.
And that's a new location that you went to?
New location. I can't tell you much more, but it's a new location.
Oh, I can tell you.
What? Oh, I was going to say, do you even know?
Of course I
don't think we've told you.
I know everything.
We'll get there. We'll announce it here in about a month or so. It looks great.
So I know everything.
Your hat looks great.
Yeah, new hats, folks. You got to start timing in and winning.
Two's got a new hat.
Yeah, how did he get one before me?
Worked really hard.
He knows Rich.
Oh, he knows Rich?
I'll introduce you to him sometime, too.
So do you have an idea month-wise that we might?
It'll be first quarter of
next year.
24. We're not positive yet, but we'll announce it. It'll be a whole weekend affair. We're actually going to even have an event. I think we're going to have an event after the gun show on Saturday night. People can come down, go to the gun show, and then stay for this event Saturday night. But I'm not going to tell you too much about that. But it's going to be fun. And we're really trying to make this thing cool and special and neat. And entertaining.
I think the symposium was probably one of the best things you guys came up with. Personally.
That was all Rich. That was Rich. Rich is a genius.
Because anybody can show guns and bags and knives but to have a symposium where you can actually sit down and learn something,
interact
with no additional charge whatsoever.
Yep. I think it was great. It was all Rich. Rich is
the man.
He really is, man. He's a good dude. Okay, before we go to the break, speaking of the symposium, we have a symposium winner of a gun sight 3-day pistol class. Wow. 3-day pistol class is huge. That's a really good prize. So, all right, the winner is Michael Horner. That's Hoener. Michael Honer, I believe is how you pronounce that. Congratulations. Thank you to Gunsight Academy, who has always been a strong supporter of our community here in San Diego. Tune in next week when Ken Campbell joins our show. Ken's always super popular.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That's Gunsight Academy. Michael Honer, you won a 3-day pistol class at Gunsight because you came to the symposium. I don't know. He did something special. I don't know what he did. I think he got a ticket or a drawing or something. The point is he showed up.
That's the key.
So if you didn't win, one of the reasons may be because you didn't show up. So that's History's made by those who show up, Dave.
Absolutely.
Michael Schwartz said that.
I think I heard that guy. Hey, is there a better tool that empowers a woman to defend against an attacker that's bigger and stronger?
No, there absolutely is not, Dave.
Where is Alicia when I need her?
I know. Where is Alicia?
She's doing something. But that's why it's so important for women to learn how to defend themselves with the most effective self-defense tool ever invented for women. Led by women, the Not Me program is designed to help with training, purchasing a gun, and getting a concealed carry permit. And guess what? It's totally free. Sign up today. Go to notmesd.org. Notmesd.org.
So we're here with Two. Two is his company is 2c.us.
Three's here too.
But Two I actually know through Gunfighter Tactical. That's how we met, right? Two,
Yeah.
is that originally how we met?
Yep.
And you have been a table sponsor at Gun Prom, and you're always so breathtakingly generous. You know, you just call up. This year, you just called up and said, "Hey, Mike, I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to donate to you for the raffle." And it's always so super generous, man. And it's you know, you've told me before how much you believe in what we're doing and the Second Amendment, and I'm just so glad that I'm so glad that you're so passionate, man, because you're somebody who's I'd much rather have you on my side than on the other side, because you're such a great dude. And
So that brings up a good point. What is he doing that has caused you to be so generous?
Well, you know, I like guns, and I always think 2A is something that I don't have growing up. So it's important. He does a lot of stuff. I've been watching over the year. I'm small, but, you know, like every year as I go to a gun show, I always think about it next year. So saving up, and I do what I can, and, you know, put your support where you believe in.
We're actually going to, we had a super interesting conversation Friday night about Two growing up in Vietnam and his perspective on everything. And we're going to do a long-form interview with you on your background, because it's fascinating. We could not do it justice. We couldn't do our conversation justice here today, but I can't wait to interview you and talk about your background and coming to the U.S., and some of your opinions and perspectives are fascinating. But what I want to talk to you about today is you generously donated a custom Glock 17 for the symposium, something you customized, right?
That is correct.
So talk about it. What exactly talk about what did you do? What is the customization you did on the Glock 17?
So it started with an OEM Glock 17, which is, you know, you're not going to get anything more reliable as an OEM Glock. And then took the slide off, did some special slide cut to make it very grippy. That's actually my own design. We called it a 2C Super Grips because it's very grippy. So that's a slide cut. And then we
2C Super Grip.
Yep, 2C Super Grips.
So when you say basically you can get your paws on that thing and rack it. If
You can literally get 2 fingers on that with almost like very little pressure, and it worked. That's exactly. I had one of these things in a case at the store, and then I mean, it looks. You can't just look at it and adjust it. That's the reason why I have a sample in the store. And then people come in and then I don't even, it was like, just tried it. And the guy grabbed it and I was like, oh my God, I mean, I've feel anything like this before. I'm like, that's it. That's the reason why I
hand it to, can you,
there you go.
Dave, what
see
do you
if
think?
Dave say the same thing.
That grippy?
Oh my God, I never feel anything like that.
So this would eliminate a person that can't rack a 9mm.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any better is to improve that racking size.
How did you get into this? How did you get into doing the slide cuts and customization and whatnot?
So 7 years ago, I'm just like another gun guys, and I sent my stuff out there to get it done, and I wait for about 6 months. I got my slide back, and I mean it kind of worked, but I didn't. I'm like, yeah, this could be a lot better. So 6 years ago, I already started doing this work, and then I went back. I was always a good friend of Gunfighter, so I came back to the store with my own stuff, you know. And Lee was like, where do you get this from? I'm like, just go home and do it myself. And it was like, you want to do this for us? I'm like, yeah, I don't know about time, but I mean, for you, of course, you know, like I'll do anything. Gunfighters, like San Diego Gun Owner, like that's the 2 places I just go hang out and do anything that I can do to help. So I tell them that, and that's how it started. And then, you know, from part-time and then just wanting more and become like a full-time and double, whatever. But that's how we got here.
Here, look down the Optic again, Dave. I just turned it on for you.
Oh.
You see it?
Oh, yeah. Right
How
on
cool
your
is
nose.
that, right? I'll put it on my nose. So those guys are great. Can't say enough good about Gunfighter
Yep.
Tactical. I know you're going to miss them like I will.
Oh,
So where can people find your stuff?
Where'd you land?
where do I land?
Because before that, because you're an engineer by trade, right?
Yep, I am an engineer. Yep.
So talk about what do you do for a living exactly?
So, well, I hope they don't hear me on gun radio because I actually still consultant, design, and prototype for the biotech out there. You know, I actually, when I start getting into this gun stuff, I actually lost some business when they found out what I'm doing. They out of size.
What?
So
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely.
What happened there?
So,
what did that
okay,
look like?
I'm a mechanical engineering. I graduated back in 2008, and of course, I had to start, in the corporate world to pay my bills. And I did 3 startup. I worked for about 12 years before I just quit and do all the gun full time. So right around 2015, I kind of like phased out and getting ready to get out and do my own thing. So I did consulting full time from 2015 to 2019. I got a bunch of clients. 2 of the biggest clients actually paid a bill, found out, like I did guns on the size and I never heard from them again. So I got smarter, and then that's why 2C, it's like KCX engineering was the other size, but I have to.
By the way, you got to turn that off.
Okay.
I'm just saying it so you don't run
Yeah.
the battery down.
Yep.
So how did they find? Was there a conversation?
I was so dumb that it's fun. I'm a simple guy. I have this phone number since I came to the U.S. 20 years ago, and never changed it.
Right.
So when I put on business card, and some of them like, it's funny to go look for the phone number, and I was like, oh, this guy do this too. And then one of the guy from that firm say too, they found out you did the gun stuff.
And they didn't like it.
Yeah.
So they didn't bother to have a conversation.
No, they didn't even say a thing. Just never heard from them again, and I lost a lot of business. So I kind of like, you know what? I want to keep this thing separate, So I started a 2C on the side, but again, I don't know. I think it is what it. At some point, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I still, make it. Long story short, I still didn't change the phone number. So the rest of them out there, they're really trying to find me, and they want to. Take all the business away. It's their choice. I don't really care anymore. I think the gun size business is growing really well. People start to know more. And, life too short. Just do what you will believe in and passionate about.
So
that's just how I think.
That's such a great attitude.
Don't care anymore.
So what are people looking for that would bring them to 2C?
So I obviously do a lot of stuff. I do custom work. There's a bunch of product out there because I'm under NDA, so I don't want to talk about it. But there's a lot of gun product out there on the market that people use. Actually, was developed by me in prototype. Then once it passed that phase, I help those company transfer to manufacturing. So there's quite a few of the products, gun products out there that I develop. And then along the line, I love guns. One of the things I've done a lot, optic cuts and slide cut. It's actually, for example, like serration. It's actually a functional thing. It's not just for look. And then gun these days, I've heard a lot of things like when people getting older, they can't see very well. That's one of the reasons they go optic. They can totally see the optic. And then actually optic. So a typical iron sight, I think, is meant for shooting anything out to like 25 yards, something like that, But with an optic, you can, and a little bit of basic training, you shooting body size silhouette target at 100 yards, 8 out of 10. That's just a normal thing I see people do every month. We go out shooting or something like that.
These red dots are really cool. There's this. I think it's an amazing development. These red dots, especially on pistols.
Yep. So if you think about it, this is the revolution. The AR-15 or M16 service gun, they used to be only on iron sight, and then there's that EO tech that developed, a while back, and that's become like a standard. And I remember like maybe 10, 15 years ago, optic was, like there's one you can buy. It's not very popular because think about it, the gun slide, they cycle. There's a lot of stuff going on right there, so it's hard to do something small and with the last that. Recoil and all that stuff. So it wasn't a thing back in the day, but in the last 5 years, I've seen so many great optic company to come out that it's getting smaller, and it's just so robust that you can't even destroy. I've seen people drop their gun, picked them up, didn't even lose 0, and then the dot is still there. So it's getting very popular these days. I think it's like in 5 or 10 years, it's going to be like the standard, just like the EO tech on the AR back in the day.
I think there's this temptation, there's this attitude on our side, and I don't even think I think a lot of it is kind of a subconscious thing where gun owners, when you make shooting easier, they're resistant to it. They kind of have this attitude of no. It has to be hard, and you have to learn how to do that hard really, really well. Otherwise, it's not real. And before red dots, I remember there's a couple of different examples, but I remember when Glocks really started getting popular. There's this whole attitude from 1911 guys that were like, oh no, you have to learn how to the safety and take off the safety and slide the thing and the blah and the blah. And I'm like, well, no, it's a Glock. You don't have to do any of that. Yeah, well, that's not real. That's not the real way to shoot it. And I'm like, if you're going to do a competition, great. It should be difficult. It should be hard. You should be, showcasing that you've overcome something. But when you're defending your life, I want it to be as easy as possible. Like if they could develop a small button that all I had to do was push with my thumb, and that
guy would blow up.
Then I didn't even have to aim, or that's what we're looking for with self-defense.
Yep.
So I think these red dots are, like you said, they're going to become standard.
So why are they green too? This one's green.
It's a little bit brighter when you shoot outside, stuff like that.
Okay, like during the day?
During the day, yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a little bit brighter, yeah.
I've seen yellow, red, and green. I think those are the yellows kind of gone old school.
I think yellow is like specialty. I think those are the one that run on solar or something like a fiber or something like that. So that's why it's yellow. But standard.
Well, someday you're going to design it to where you can change the colors.
Steve, that's why I have to keep saving money to hire David. Hopefully one day I'll get there. He just had an idea.
If you could just, people tell me all the time I have the greatest ideas for everybody else.
Yeah,
except myself.
I mean, somehow he drive a different car every week. He had some great ideas himself.
That's
He didn't tell us, I think.
Now, I'm always looking at guys like you. You're the engineer, you're the designer, but you may not be the marketing guy.
Oh yeah,
Dave's the idea guy.
See, I come up with just a million ideas.
Yeah.
Just because if it's good for the community, if it's good for the people, then you need everybody to jump on board and help you.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, you got to buy Gunfighter Tacticals. What you got to do?
We're going to go to a commercial here. Then we're going to continue on with 2 and talk a lot more about 2C.
Yeah, 2C.us.
Yeah, that's TWOSEE.us.
Hey, a lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent, the photos are beautiful, and your website looks great, but it's just not getting customers. Because you don't have the words that make people buy. But now you can fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customers to understand what you do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today. Schedule a call. Getting started is real easy. Visit sagetree.com. Click on the Schedule an Appointment button. That's sagetree.com. And click on that Schedule a Call button right now.
We're talking to 2 from 2C. That's TWOSEE.us. He does all kinds of customization, but particularly what we're talking about today are the slide cuts he did for his custom Glock, which is you had donated some to Gun Prom as well.
Yep.
And that's really, really awesome. Now, how does it work? Does somebody come in and they say, hey, this is what I want? Or do you have a set menu and folks can choose from it, or a combination of both?
So the standard stuff that I do cover a lot of whatever people out there want already. So between my website and my Instagram, there's enough sample there. So there's a lot, probably 70-80% of people call me. They just text me pictures that's what I want. That's it. And then I gave them an appointment to come in and drop it off. I finished and sent it back to them. Optic cut is normally done within an hour and a half. Slide cut, the same day to up to maybe second day or something like that. And then the other custom stuff, pretty much anything they've seen out there, they send it, I can do it. I keep telling people and say, anything that is physically possible, I can do that. And the work on the websites and the Instagram actually show it over the years. So yeah, that's how it's done.
That's awesome, man. What do you think of the industry? Are Are we going in a good direction, or you think the industry's starting to sputter, or what do you think?
I don't know. I think it's getting harder, especially, last couple of years, everything's going on, but I think it's going strong. I don't know. I go to SHOT Show every year, and I mean, like I said, it's getting harder. I mean, but
I'd imagine it's hard to be creative. I mean, there's so much going on out there.
Here's what I'm going to say on that. I think it's harder because you're lazy. I mean, there's always something. I mean, it's like, no bashing on other people, but I mean, for example,
they get comfortable.
Yeah, they get comfortable.
They make one thing,
yeah,
and they go, "Oh, that's really selling
there's
well."
Always something.
So I don't need to do anymore.
Yep, that's exactly. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. That's
No,
how big
no.
business model should be. Least amount of work with the large
Most amount of profit.
Yeah. So and that I in fact actually like that, because that where the tinker, the creative guy like me, that's where like I don't feel threatened or anything, but because like the more they crank out something, there's always something. I think the majority of my customer, they know this. They send stuff to me because they know that the detail, and then there's a few things, just like, for example, optic mount. Everybody think optic mount, anybody can do that. That's actually not true. Every week, I would have at least 2 to 3 slide or gun or combo sent to my shop because it's not right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a business.
So you fix more than you design.
And then the guy was like, Jesus, like how complicated could this be? But this guy, mount my optic, and then it just, I never deal with it. And even the guy in the shop know, like Miranda, she's seen things that come back and forth, and sometimes she just run straight to me. And then she take notice. It say, hey, your 2-go mount that optic, and the guy never come back again. I was like, and she's a fun desk gal, right? And she's like, what did you do differently? I was like, yeah, like a lot of, I see this and this, so. And then it's nothing big deal. The customer that actually came up that asked me, I share everything with them. But, a little bit in here, a little bit in there. And then I like this stuff. So I watch, every system, every optic combinations, every slide. Everything's slightly different. The long story short is this. Slide for a longest time wasn't designed for optic. So when optic came out, it's kind of like, they trying to put it together. There are new manufacturers that actually start to redesign the slide so it's more optic friendly. But
so they can get optics on it.
Yeah. But, in that meantime, I enjoy, pick up a little detail here and there, make it better over the years. Two things, in the last 2 years that I'm most proud of is I created this thing called Optic Irons. It's on my website. It's have a lot of detail in there. But when I came to SHOT Show last year, the response was amazing. Like big company, Chichikun came talk to me, Lubo, like all the big guys came. I was like, oh my God, finally somebody is doing something that makes sense. So we start shipping that, since May already. And lately I cut, so 1911 is easy, is not an example. It's kind of hard to cut. I think not so many shops actually do 1911. CZ, there's like a one shop. And then lately people start to send stuff to my shop. It's like, hey, why don't you send to that shop? Because like they are a really good shop, like they world pronoun about it. My customers say too, I can't wait for 3 months. You cut the side the same day, so I'm gonna keep bringing it.
Right.
So I figure all that out. But the new mountain system that I created is called the XX11 mount. It worked for 1911 especially, and then CZ, and then I'm actually adopting it for 6 as well. The moment I launched, it's just so many shops call me. They send it in, so it's just, I'm going to SHOT Show this year, and then I'm going to have those things on the table so people can see. But like I said, key thing is like, I would love, like they can go out and do, go the lazy, easy way, and then let me pick the detail and make everything better. And for the people who care about the attention to detail and go to my shop, that's what, they get.
Keep this up, and you're going to end up in the same boat he is with the gun show. Wasn't it nice when I could knock one out in a day? Now it's 2 weeks or it's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I know it's a terrible thing to have happen, but I mean, the more popular you get and the more people see, because everybody to me, a gun is no different than a car. You want to be personalized. You want that car to be yours and yours alone. And that's what they get from you with their gun.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. And what's really unusual too is that you have a creative mind and you're an engineer. Usually it's one or the other. Usually engineers aren't that creative, and creative people don't have what it takes to be an engineer. and it's unusual to have that in that personality.
Well, and a lot of times engineers, they only want to solve problems. You don't want to do that. You want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
With your own touch.
Yeah.
With your own.
Kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah. But I mean, because you'll get bored if you were making the same thing day in and day out, day in and day out.
You're like the Elon Musk of the gun world.
Ooh, that's a good compliment.
I like that guy. Yeah. He worked really hard. He's always really smart, but he worked
How did you get into engineering? So you came to the U.S., and then how did you get into engineering?
To be honest with you, I didn't know anything better. Somebody told me just go do that. But I think that somebody was kind of like, because they see me, and I was like, hey, this guy's always, doing something and perfection. Like he put a nail into something, and if he doesn't like it, he'll do it again.
Yeah.
Or just go get another piece of wood and do it again. It's the same thing, everything I do. And I was like, hey, you should go do that.
See, that's okay. So that's an engineer's personality. That's not a creative person's personality.
Right.
They're the total opposite. Like, what good enough is good enough. I'm here for the
another thing people ask me, hey, too, because I actually, back in my corporate life, I have a lot of patents. It's insane amount of thing I created. Yeah. Some of those patents I remember, like the big money guy, like I would walk into the room and they said, this is what, so this is catheter, it's medical device. I was doing that. Catheter's been there for maybe 50, 100 years, and I was one of the new kids come into the startup. And then it was sitting there and it was like, this is, like what people are doing out there. And I was just like within like probably like 10 seconds, I said something, everybody was looking at me. It's like, you just solved a problem that, and the founder of the company, he's an MD. He's an ER doctor for almost 30 years. And he was like, this right here is what the industry has been doing for 50 years. And I did not know, but you just solved the problem. That was one of the patents that I'm actually really proud of. And over the year, here's what I learned. I think if you sit here and you're trying to find a problem to invent something new and trying to make money, I don't think you go that far. I think the thing come out of me is like I always work really hard, and then when I go into work and I have to do something, and I just like this is just not. That keep the Optic is one of the things. I didn't sit there and try to invent anything, but I cut so many slides, like 10, 15 today, and I just sit there, hit the button, like wait for the thing. And why I'm doing that instead of like just not know, I look at it and I'm like, oh, they do this and they do that. And
but if I do this, and I do that,
I just see it. I'm like, oh, well, why didn't you do that? That before I patent that thing, actually, it's like, look at that. I was just gonna go home and 3D print it and put it on a website. Next one's like, why don't you guys do this? But then I sit there and I'm like, wait a minute. I literally have seen everything I could imagine in the last 4 or 5 years. If I didn't see this, probably nobody did that. So I called one of my attorney patent law office, friend of mine from back in the corporate days. I was like, hey, hello with the cash, go look at something. And the guy was like, no, I couldn't find anything like that. So yeah, that's an example of how I would explain. I mean, when you actually pay attention to detail, you're gonna see the thing that's just not perfect. It's not there.
Well,
and then you work hard. Someday just come. And then,
my analogy is, and I tell everybody, when you look at that, you have a camera in your head that you have like film.
Yep.
And you can look at that and you can see the modifications you did to it in your head. Me, I have no film in my head. It's as empty as a frickin' box of chocolates. I'm telling you, because I've always wanted to design a particular, but I can't.
But
see
you're out
it.
of film.
I'm out of film. Can you? Can you imagine something that you want, and in your head you can see what it is you want at the end?
I do, but mine's not film. It's like the old glass. Remember the
Yeah,
first,
right, yeah.
like the first
And hold the
cameras
thing
that you
up.
put. You had to pull. Yeah, it's more like that.
But I mean, it's and when I find people like him, like the minute he looks at it, he goes, "Oh well, shoot! If you do this and you do this and you do that, it'll be a much better part."
I mean, two's clearly like I have a creative streak. I mean, there's a bunch. I mean,
You do?
San Diego County Gunner. There's a bunch of stuff in there that's you had to be creative. Believe me, but not like that. I mean, this is what two's doing is phenomenal.
Right. No, and I think I like your attitude. You're not out there trying to make $30 million by next Thursday.
But if he does,
that's fine. But I think you care more about the end product than you really, because that's your reputation.
And I like the fact that you're supportive of the community. You don't have to. You can just go out and get your money and be done with it, but you give back so much, and I'm truly, truly appreciative.
You're just hoping when people see that, oh, yeah, 2 did that.
Yeah. So check out, we're going to go to break here. Check out 2c.us. TWOSEE.us. Go to that website. Check out his products. There's got to be something on there you want to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Support
if not,
2.
ask him. He'll come up with something.
There you go. Support 2 like he supports us.
Hey, if you're a gun owner,
I am.
And if you ever need to use your gun to protect yourself or your loved ones, you need legal protection. Even if everything is right, even if you're 100% justified, you should be prepared for the legal battle after your self-defense battle.
Agreed.
We have seen it right here in San Diego, where an innocent man showed his firearm to discourage, I say discourage, a violent attacker. He had to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees to restore his freedom and rights. That's why you need firearms legal protection.
FLP.
When you join, you get uncapped legal protection to self-defense for civil or criminal cases with a 24/7 hotline. Joining is easy. Just go to firearmslegal.com, click on Become a Member, use code GOR for a discount. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing that you are protected if you are ever involved in a self-defense incident. Firearmslegal.com and use discount code GOR. Be proactive, not reactive.
Fact. Okay, so it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It is Stump My Nephew. We found out years ago that my nephew, Sam, is extremely good at gun trivia. So if you send us a gun trivia question and we use it on the air, we'll give you a hat or a shirt, and we have cool
new hats,
new gun owners radio hats that come in a variety of colors.
If you're on YouTube or Facebook.
Yep, I really like it. It looks good. The black and the brown,
I
and
like
the
that
blue
brown
and the red, and it's got our logo on it. It looks real, super
Look
cool.
at that, even matches his outfit.
Yeah, I know. It's like you planned that.
He's styling.
We'll give you a hat or a shirt. If you stump my nephew, then we'll give you some kind of super cool special
hat
prize.
By the way, Sam, as
a
a disclaimer, I had absolutely nothing to do with this question.
So, Sam, you there?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Good, man. How you doing?
Can't complain.
All right. Are you ready for the question?
Well, I don't know. The way Dave is talking, it sounds like it's kind of a tough one.
It's an interesting question. It's a good question.
It is not. And it's not, trust me.
2 likes it. 2's over there. He thinks it's great.
Is 2 going to read it?
Let me read it. All right. Thomas from Dallas asks, what gun can hold 100 rounds in the chamber?
Thomas from Dallas. I don't know whether to thank you for writing that in. This references something our fearless leader said.
Yep. Keep going. You're close.
Where he misspoke and said 100 rounds in the chamber instead of something probably equally as stupid about magazine capacity. So I'm not sure I should even dignify that with an answer.
At a Human Rights Campaign national dinner, President Joe Biden pushed for an assault weapons ban and asked, who in God's name needs a weapon with 100 rounds in the chamber?
Well, okay. There's a weird kind of like half correct answer to this. It's one of those things where someone misspeaks, but there's something vaguely tangentially somewhat valid about it, though not in the actual context. If you really want to split hairs and you want to talk about a firearm that can hold multiple rounds in the chamber, the superposed load is a thing that's basically multiple of the equivalent of a round stacked on top of one another. And the Metal Storm was a prototype rapid fire weapon that used a superposed load. So you would have a powder charge and a projectile in front of another projectile and another powder charge, and so on down the line. So that's, I mean, you could cite that as firearm that holds multiple rounds in one chamber, kind of.
I'm
But
sure.
you
I'm
know
sure
that's
that's what
not
he
what
was.
he meant.
I'm sure that's what he was referring to. I'm sure if you ask Biden, that's what I was talking about. That no, that's probably not what he was.
No, he just has dementia and doesn't understand what he's talking about. Didn't understand what he was talking about even when he was of sound mind.
You know, the interesting thing is this was at the Human Rights Campaign National Dinner. I don't know a whole lot about the Human Rights Campaign. I've certainly never been to their national dinner. But the odd thing here is an assault weapon, quote unquote, or what they're describing as an assault weapon, which is a gun, a firearm. That's all they're talking about. That's a human right.
Duh.
So, but I'll bet you the Human Rights Campaign doesn't consider owning a firearm to be a human right, or at least not. They're probably for human rights, but they're for the Second Amendment. But
could you just see his staff when he said that? Just smack themselves on the forehead.
They probably didn't know it.
I bet he was trying to
either.
refer to like a Calico M100 because it holds a 100-round magazine. I'm assuming, but that's the only thing I could think of otherwise.
Did you hear that?
I think we're all giving him way too much credit.
I know.
I think so too.
I mean, I have a 60-round drum for my AR.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got it during Freedom Week. It was from Gunfighter Tactical too.
Oh yeah, we gave him a receipt too.
Well, thank you, too.
Yeah.
You know what happened? It was kind of funny. They, I already had 30-round mags for my AR. I had 15-round mags for my Glock, and everybody's buying mags, and I'm like, I already have all this stuff.
But I got to buy one.
At the end of the week, too. I don't know if you remember. I can't remember if you were working
I was there a whole week. Yeah.
So you guys were getting boxes of stuff, right? And like just here, they weren't even a lot of the paperwork wasn't even totally, like, the inventory wasn't totally accurate. So you just open a box and go, all right, what are we getting? So Lee came to me hours before the end of the week, before it was all over.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man. And I told him, I was like, I couldn't participate. I already got everything. And he goes, hey, we got this 160-round mag or, drum. And so I was able to participate. I bought that off of Gunfighter Tactical.
Of course.
That's how great Gunfighter Tactical was.
You're so weak.
So what do you mean I'm weak? What kind of thing is that to say about a guy? I'd say with a 60-round drum, I'm pretty strong.
Oh well, yeah, there is something to be said for that too.
Well, Sam, I think that's great. It was pretty. I don't know when he said it, but this reference, I think you had to really be paying attention over about the last week is when they really started. I don't think it was much before that, so it must have been fairly recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So it's good you were paying it. This is one of those things where you either know it or you don't know it.
Well, that's just it. If you don't know it, I mean,
But he knew it.
Well, I do.
Thomas from Dallas, you did not stump my nephew.
There you go. Nice job,
So
buddy.
we'll send you a hat or a shirt, whatever you.
Now you got to send Sam the new hat, one of our new hats.
All right, I will. What do you think? What color do you want? You want brown, black, red, or blue?
I don't know. I'll have to take a look. Are they on the website?
Yes, they are. Go to
Yes, they are. Take a peek.
And you can check out
And you deserve a hat
the merch.
because you've won more than Thomas.
Yeah, you should get a hat every time you're right.
No, we can't give them all our hats.
I know we'd be out of
We won't have any hats.
I wouldn't be able to fit through a doorway. I'd have such a tall stack of hats.
You're also right.
And then some monkey would come and steal all your hats and go up in a tree. And
yeah, but if you wear it when you go, there'd be a good way to promote on the East Coast.
I think you're right.
All right, it's coming your way, son. You just got to pick the color.
All right, Sam. Anything else? Anything you want to? No. Do you have a
blog
blog you want to promote real quick?
Yeah, there's a blog post up. I don't have much time, so I'll just say it's part of my book review series, but it is not technically a review of a book. It's up on the SDCGO blog already.
Mm-hmm.
Go take a look.
Okay, cool. What's your book report on?
Say again?
What's the name of the book that you did your book report on?
Well, it isn't a book. That's the fun part.
All right. Okay, so go to SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com.
It's a surprise.
/blog. Go to InlandEmpireGunOwners.com /blog. Go to OrangeCountyGunOwners.com /blog and check out his book report that's not on a book.
That's right. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. We enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me on. Good night, everyone.
All right, grand finale. The symposium winner of the custom Glock 17 x2 is
Dave Stahl.
Not Dave Stahl.
Oh.
Jackie
Stahl.
Schwaznowski. Congratulations, Jackie. Fantastic job. I probably butchered your name. It's CHRZANOWSKI.
So she gets a hat too.
Yeah, let's give Jackie a hat. Thank you too for your support, my friend. What an awesome gift. Somebody out there gets your cool Glock 17. Is that the slide right there that they're going to get? Or is
right
that
there. That's what
that's
you get.
the one.
Yep.
Well,
the bottom of that is
so not only do you get a Glock 17 that's been customized, but the slide has a full set of my fingerprints, Dave's fingerprints.
Dave, yep.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
That's awesome.
A lot of potential.
A lot of potential. Now you just need the rest of it.
Yep.
So, two, what do you got? You got a final message?
Huh?
You have a final message for today, or?
Well, thank you for you all doing so I can do my little part. And congratulations to the winner.
There you go. You just keep up the good work.
Oh, I will.
Stay focused and come back again with any more new products.
We'll try every day.
And now we're going to do a multicolor dot. So we'll start working on that multicolor dot.
And a big special thanks and a sincerely true farewell to Gunfighter Tech.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, thank you guys for everything. Ryan and Lee and everybody.
We got to get them in, at least have them come in and chat. And
have Lee come in? I'll have Lee come in.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. All right, hey, folks.
I don't think we can have Ryan on the radio. We need about a 6-hour show.
Yeah, well, there is that, too.
Thanks for watching this episode from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns and the Second Amendment. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just do a search for Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Click on the links in the show notes and support the businesses that support your Second Amendment rights. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.